Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, and we're here for the final round of the season for the Mick Schumacher Career mode. It's round 21. We're here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and as you can see, with the 9th best car at the end of the season, this is what the results will look like for the best team to the worst team in the terms of development. Who knows what it will look like next season, but Red Bull top, Ferrari, Mercedes, Force India now looking strong 4th. We're starting to slip away from the rest of the pack in 9th, but we're ahead of Williams, and well, no one's been behind Williams all season. So this is how it is at the end of the season then. What can we do in the final round of the season at Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? After a disappointing Brazilian Grand Prix, we're looking to end the season on a high. Well, you know, we've got the final battle to decide between Raikkonen and Hamilton for the Drivers' World Championship, and we got the battle for 6th in the constructors between ourselves, Sauber, and Haas F1 team, as we're heading into qualifying then for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the final qualifying of the season. Under twilight this is, so from dusk to night in the Abu Dhabi sunset. What can we do on our last race of the season? We head onto our qualifying lap. Not one of my favourite tracks, I must admit, but it's not Kimi Raikkonen's either, if you've ever heard what he said to say about this track. But coming on then, the first sector's already over. We've got the next chicane before the hairpin onto the main DRS straight. It's not a bad flowing circuit, but it's just a really dull race on TV. Remember that race in Abu Dhabi in 2010, where Alonso's championship was decided by the fact that he could not overtake Vitaly Petrov, and Sebastian Vettel ended up going on to win that title. Could have been Mark Webber's day as well, of course, in 2010. But whose day will it be today? Will it be Hamilton's or will it be Raikkonen's? We're heading on into qualifying then. Who's going to be the first one to lay down a marker? Raikkonen 7 points behind Hamilton at this stage, so who knows what can happen between those two. Carlos Sainz now goes fastest, we go faster, and Sebastian Vettel goes on provisional pole position now. Sebastian is going to be playing the team role here today. Hopefully for him, he's going to be able to support Raikkonen and help him win the title in the last race of the season. So coming around the last corners, this is a bit of a scruffy red lap, but to be honest, we think it's okay. We're not really thinking about improving. We just want to set one lap and go into that final race of the season and see what we can do from whatever position we are in, because we haven't really got too much to play for now, apart from, of course, the little battle of Haas. But we're 10 points clear of them now, and we think it's pretty much decided, as long as they don't get too many points compared to us. And we actually go ahead of Romain Grosjean there. And that's the grid then, with Daniel Ricciardo on pole, Raikkonen setting the benchmark then for the race tomorrow, with Hamilton in 4th, Vettel 5th, Bottas 6th, Ocon 7th. So none of the Haases are up there. My teammate has done very well to get 11th. He's ahead of both the Haas drivers in 13th and 14th, and ourselves we're in 15th. So it's looking good then, heading into the final race of the season for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're ahead of Sergio Perez, and well, what can we do? It should be an interesting race from wherever we are on the grid. Remember, there is penalties that could happen as well, so 15th is not necessarily going to be our starting position as we head into the final race of the season then for Abu Dhabi. One last time, what is this season going to bring to us? What is next season going to bring to us? We're going to be seeing that soon as well. Is this going to be the end of an era with Mercedes winning several Drivers' Championships in a row, or are Ferrari finally going to claw back those positions then, as we look onto the final grid then for all of the season to see who is on pole? And of course, Daniel Ricciardo ending the season on a high then for Red Bull Racing, who have not been able to compete in the championship this season. That will be something they'll be looking to do next season, with Verstappen 3rd and Bottas is 5th, Ocon 6th. So there's a Ferrari that's fallen down the field. It's Sebastian Vettel now. We're up into P10 on the grid, so that's looking good for us. Vettel 11th, so Lance Stroll and Sorokin very high up. Charles Leclerc's had to have a penalty, unfortunately, so it's down to us then to get in front of the Haases at the start of the race and maybe just keep them behind us as much as we can. That's the target for this weekend as we head on to the final 5 red lights of the season to see what we can do. It's lights out and away we go for one last time in Abu Dhabi, and it's a good start from us as we get a nice little clean start, and we're in P10 going into the first corner. We look to have a little move down the inside of Grosjean and Magnussen, but now we're on to the round down to turn 2 and turn 3. We get past Kevin Magnussen nice and easily without him taking us out this time. But now then, Romain Grosjean is our next target. Are we going to look down into the inside into chicane? No, think a bit better of it. What about the hairpin now? Are we going to think about overtaking him? looking down the inside. He leaves us enough room actually, so he's a bit more cleaner than his teammate has been. But Grosjean gets the better exit out of the hairpin, and now we're looking, are we going to have to defend from Magnussen, or are we going to be able to attack Roman Grosjean? In fact, we do go attacking Roman Grosjean, and we get a nice little bit of slipstream, and we're going ahead of Grosjean into the next chicane, and Magnussen also getting past his teammate as well there. So now we're up into P8, and that's 4 points for us, and that's 2 points for Magnussen. So that's great news for us, and well, outscoring Haas, and that's all we need to do in the last race of the season to keep 6th in the Constructors, which is exactly what Sauber are looking to do at the end of this season. That would be a huge result for us this season to finish 6th. Looking into the rule changes for next season, we're aiming to get higher as well. So now then, we're in P8 at the start of this race, we've got Nico Hulkenberg is our next target, but we're really just, we'd be happy to keep hold at 8th right now. But remember, we've got Sebastian Vettel behind us, who will be gunning to get through the field and hoping to support his teammate. He's not able to support his teammate actually. It's Raikkonen on his own up front with both the Mercedes. In fact, Daniel Ricciardo is leading the way at the moment, so Raikkonen's got it all to do then in this race if he wants to win the Drivers' Championship for the 2nd time. Whether Lewis Hamilton's going to win the championship for the 5th time, who knows what will happen in the next 14 laps. We head on to lap 2 then, and it's P8. But now then, moving a little bit further on, we're on lap 3 out of 14, and we've not been able to catch up to Hulkenberg or the guys ahead, and we're actually having to defend then from Roman Grosjean then as we come on to the back straight. So Grosjean will have DRS because we're on the lap 3. We're going to get the first step in the DRS. What can Grosjean do? Is he going to look down to the inside to make an overtake? He is going to make an overtake down the inside. What can we do? Can we defend from him? Remember, we're actually on ultra softs at this stage as well, so we're going to be stopping later than these guys. So hopefully, if we have the later stop, we'll be able to be on the fast tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix and be able to put in some fast laps and hopefully re-overtake these guys. But at the moment, Grosjean then gets past us, and it doesn't look like we'll be able to get back past him unless we get close enough into this next chicane. But unless we'll almost completely run into the back of him, and Magnussen now gets past us as well. So after trying a desperate lunge to get past Grosjean, Magnussen's got back past us, and now we decide to go back past Kevin Magnussen as we fight back past him, cut back underneath, and we're not letting him back past. And in fact, he's now fighting with Sergio Perez behind us, as Perez was originally behind him for a second there, but Magnussen managed to keep hold of P10. So now then, Haas will be getting 5 points to us 2. They only gained 3 points on us then, so that's good news for us. They're not going to overtake us in the Constructors' Championship, so we can actually settle for this position right now. But as you can see, Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel are gunning to get past them, because Perez is in a faster car at the moment. Force India are fairly strong at the moment in this career mode. Ferrari as well. Sebastian Vettel will be looking to get past us, and Vettel should be really still be able to finish P6 from where he is. But moving on to lap 4 then, we've got Magnussen, Perez, Vettel and Co behind us, all holding him up a little bit at this stage because we're on the ultra soft tyres. Everyone else is tend to be on the hyper soft tyres, so coming around the hairpin, we're actually a little bit deep, we're a little bit out of shape. Remember, this car at the moment isn't the most comfortable to drive, with a little bit lacking downforce and lacking aero and everything else. And Magnussen then has got DRS, and he's not quite getting close like Grosjean did the last lap, but we're going into the chicane and we're going to be able to keep our P9, but it's a little bit of a poor line actually. Magnussen and Perez behind us, they'll be gunning to get past us. What can they do? We actually get a decent exit, but Perez then is going to be looking to get down the inside of us into the next chicane on a GP2 straight, and Vettel's looking to get down the inside of Magnussen then. So what is going to happen into this next chicane? We're on the inside of Perez, so we're going to try and keep the ahead of Perez, and we do keep ahead of Perez. Vettel gets ahead of Magnussen, and Vettel ends up hitting Perez. So Perez is in the spin. We end up tagging the wall by looking behind us too often. But we do keep out of danger. Now Vettel is now looking to get past us. So Vettel's managed to get past 2 drivers there, despite making contact with Perez. So who knows what happened there. So Vettel then now behind us in P10. Near as what happened, it was almost 4 cars going into the same corner together. But we get ahead of Perez, and Perez is just completely taken out by Vettel. Don't really know, it's 2 into 1. It's quite difficult in that chicane. Perez then dropping to the back of the field. He's going to have to do it all again and get past the Williamses particularly. But now moving on to lap 5, there's Sebastian Vettel behind us, and at this point we're thinking probably the best decision is to let Sebastian go chase Grosjean. If he takes points off of Grosjean, that'd be good news for us, but he's going to take points off of us at the moment, so we're in 10th. We've let Vettel go, but we've got DRS and be able to get some slipstream, get a nice little bit of extra pace. But we're actually looking to get close, almost thinking about re-overtaking Vettel going into the next chicane, where he collided with Perez the lap previous. We're thinking better of it. Vettel is going really slowly into this chicane. now have to let Vettel pull away now, hopefully. So we're getting 1 point to Grosjean's 4 at that point, so they're only gaining 3 again. But now we're out of the pits on lap 7 with Kimi Raikkonen ahead of us, so it's not looking too bad at this stage. There is actually a slow Haas going around the track, and that is actually Kevin Magnussen, who had a puncture. So Magnussen's now out of the picture. We've now got Max Verstappen alongside us, going up towards the chicane, up on the back straight. Remember, he's actually had a new set of tyres, and he's come out. He was in P3 on the grid, and Raikkonen there is the championship contender. We actually re-overtake Max Verstappen going into the chicane, not yielding to him, just proving we want to fight the Red Bulls and the Ferraris next season. But where Max Verstappen actually pulls away now. But we got DRS again. Are we going to help ourselves to an overtake on Max Verstappen? We got yellow flags ahead of us, as well as our engineers just pointed out. We're fighting nice and cleanly here with Verstappen. Although we did let Vettel go, we're fighting with Verstappen. We're not really sure why that is, but maybe it's because the Ferrari is our senior team pretty much at this point, and we're just deciding to let Vettel get on with it, and we want to fight Verstappen as well and help him in the title challenge. Well, help Raikkonen in the title challenge. But now coming around the final few corners, we got our pit stop on the next lap as well. We've got Hamilton behind us as well. So there is Haas and there is Raikkonen ahead of us, and they're both going very slowly. What has happened here with Magnussen and Raikkonen? We're going past them both, lapping Magnussen, and Raikkonen's got a huge chunk of front wing damage there. He's had to pit again, so Raikkonen's championship challenge has gone completely up in smoke thanks to a slow Kevin Magnussen. I don't know what's going to happen with Magnussen and Raikkonen there, but that is a complete disaster. And here is the onboard from Kevin Magnussen going round the corners, has a collision with his teammate. So Magnussen, I don't know what's happened to him on this career mode, but he's turned reckless. And there's the race leader Ricciardo going past him. And then you've got Kimi Raikkonen, I should say, coming up behind him, and he just, well, I don't know actually, that looked like Raikkonen just ran into the back of him. He wasn't really in the way. So Raikkonen's, I don't even know if that was Magnussen's fault actually. So Raikkonen just runs straight into the back of Magnussen, and they're both in the pits. But now moving on to lap 8, and we've just gone off the track, and we've just collided with Max Verstappen, and we're out onto the grass, and that's a huge disaster for us. A poor thing to happen. We just got out onto the bumpy part of the track, came onto the track and just collided with Kevin Magnussen, and that's a huge disaster for us as well, because we lost several time from that. And now we're out of shape again, and coming onto the back straight, we're in P9, but we got a pit stop to make still, so we're going to be well down the order now. Grosjean is ahead of us, and Grosjean was someone we were fighting with, so it's a complete disaster to happen, and well, not how we wanted to end the last race of the season. Colliding with Max Verstappen, that's happened 3 races in a row now. We've had a collision with Max Verstappen. In Mexico, we chopped off a bit of our front wing by trying an over-ambitious front overtake on him. In Brazil, we sort of just had a little knock on the straight up to the hill, and then in Abu Dhabi, I just kind of drove into him a little bit after coming back onto the track, and that's put us into a spin. And now we're on lap 8, and we're boxing this lap. So it's a frustrating thing to happen, but it's going to be the end of pretty much the championship. It's going to be pretty much how we started. We started the season poorly, and we've ended the season poorly pretty much. So in Australia, we had several collisions in the first race with Sirotkin. In this race, we've had we've had an incident with Verstappen, and that's just thrown us down the order, and we do box this lap now. Into the pits we come, and well, it's just a frustrating thing to happen in this race. But what can we do then? It's now damage limitation. We come into pit for the Hypersoft tyres, binning off these Ultra Softs, so we should be on faster tyres than everyone else. Everyone else is on Ultra Soft tyres. We're now moving on to fresh Hypersofts, so we're down into P19. With only Kevin Magnussen behind us, so he's a lap down anyway, so we haven't got to worry about him too much. Carlos Sainz is ahead of us, so he's had a poor race. Remember, he was 7th in the championship at one stage, best of the rest. And now we're out of the pits, and we're now seeing what we can do from P19. Everyone else is actually quite far ahead of us. But now, moving on to lap 11, we've actually caught up a bit with Carlos Sainz. We're looking to overtake him, and we actually get a clean overtake round the outside. Carlos Sainz must have a problem then, because to be behind Stoffel Van Dorn on this game, you must be really slow. And that's no disrespect to Stoffel Van Dorn himself, it's just how slow his AI is on this game. I don't really understand. It's just really slow compared to Fernando Alonso's. But obviously Van Dorn did get out-qualified in every race last season. But that's not the point. And we end up getting a penalty there as well for extending track limits. And I was quite annoyed about that because I don't really see how that was extending track limits. But it doesn't really matter. We were at the back of the grid anyway. And we're actually moving on to lap 13 here. We've got Stoffel Van Dorn, our teammate Charles Leclerc, and what looks like Sergei Sorokin in front of us. So Sorokin doing quite well to be ahead of quite a few cars. The Lance Stroll's ahead of a few cars as well. And Charles Leclerc's had a disappointing race to be this far back as well. With Sorokin side by side with him. He's actually overtaken Sergei Sorokin there as my teammate. So there's going to be no points for Sauber at this stage. But only one Haas is up there because Kevin Magnussen's obviously behind us. But we got Stoffel Van Dorn, and even if we get past these guys, we're not going to be able to finish ahead of them. And we actually lock up a bit there as well, almost run into the back of Stoffel Van Dorn. But instead, we do keep behind him. But coming on to the last lap then, what can we do? In terms of the Drivers' Championship, it looks like Lewis Hamilton is going to win the Drivers' Championship because Kimi Räikkönen is out of the points after having to pit twice, which is basically what we had to do. Because we just had a massive spin which basically cost us the pit stop, and then we had to pit again after that. So moving on to the final lap of the race then. The final lap of this World Championship, the final lap of Season 1. What can we do? Can we have a good last lap to go out with? Can we get past Stoffel Van Dorn? We're almost off again, and it's not going to be a good lap. And Magnussen unlaps himself. So that was just the icing on the cake there. Just that we've just completely gone off again, almost ended our race on the last lap. Just hit the wall, and we're having to settle for P18. But it doesn't look like we're going to be 3 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz at this stage, so it might even be P19 on the last race of the season. Finished 19th out of 20th, and our main rival being behind us still, which is Kevin Magnussen, and well, he's in front of us on track, but he is of course a lap down, and how sweet it would be to actually overtake him again. Didn't turn into us this time, but Magnussen, a huge rival for us this season. So it's probably fitting that we do finish 19th and 20th with him this season. And moving on to the end of this lap is Daniel Ricciardo, who wins the last race of the season. And a good race for him. What can Red Bull do next season? We'll have a look soon. But now then, we're moving on to the end of the race. We've got P18. What a season it's been though. We've had a podium in France. We've had several good results. We had a good race in Germany. That was one of my favourites of the season, definitely. But recently, Brazil and, of course, here as well. We've had 5 DNFs as well, I think. We had USA as our most recent one. We come towards the checkered flag, and that's going to be the end of the season. And we cross the line in P18, which is going to turn into P19, because Carlos Sainz is less than 3 seconds behind us. But disappointing way to end the season then. But who is the Drivers' Championship winner? And it is indeed Lewis Hamilton, who has won the Drivers' Championship. Congratulations to him. Kimi Räikkönen gave him a good run for his money in the end, but at the end of the day it was a disaster in the last race. But Hamilton getting the Drivers' Championship, Ferrari getting the Constructors, so that's a good way to end the season for Hamilton by getting the Drivers' Championship, and a good way to end the season for Ricciardo by winning. And there you go, there you can see Hamilton celebrating with his mechanics and his crew there in the Mercedes garage. A great result for the Mercedes team. Despite losing the Constructors' Championship, they still managed to win the Drivers' Championship, but they mostly got Valtteri Bottas to blame for that. So we move on then into the end of the race. Where has Grosjean finished? If he has finished quite high, that could be disaster for us. He's only got 4 points, so there you go. We have actually beaten Haas in the championship then. And what is the end result in the Constructors and Drivers as well? Let's have a look now then. We are finishing 9th in the Drivers' Championship. Hamilton winning from Raikkonen, Vettel, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Bottas, Perez, Sainz, ourselves, Ocon. And then moving on into the Constructors, there you go. Ferrari leading the way from Mercedes, Red Bull, Force India secured 4th, Renault 5th, ourselves in 6th, Haas 7th, McLaren 8th, Toro Rosso 9th, and Williams in stone dead last in 10th. Now then, we're going to be moving on to the end of the race. There you can see the reputation for the first time. Williams absolutely adore us, as do Toro Rosso. Ferrari Red Bull and Mercedes not big fans of us right now. But there you go. Here's our agent saying hello to us. Nice job this season.
In a strong negotiating position contract-wise. Plus, my 10%'s getting more valuable. So enjoy your break and keep up the good work next year.
Well, there you go. Enjoy your break and keep up the good work next year.
What on earth was that performance? Come on, this isn't bumper cars at the fairground. Your results and conduct here matter, so pay more attention.
Well, she seemed to contradict what she said there, but never mind. We're moving on to the contract, and we are going to be staying with the Alfa Romeo Sauber team heading into next season then. So I'm going to try and negotiate a nice little contract here. We're not really thinking about any other teams. I don't think Ferrari would be too interested in taking us on at this stage. And I think we need an extra season with Sauber to prove our ability, improve our worth, improve Mick Schumacher's worth, see what he can do next season. And hopefully we can be in a stronger position at the start of next season as well to push on. So you can see we've got plenty of resource points there. What can the regulation changes mean for next season as well? So we move on then. We got the Sauber contract accepted. We move on to the end of the episode next season. There we go. Thank you everyone for watching this season. As you can see, there's a vehicle performance comparison and there's all our results as well. But that is going to be pretty much the end of the episode there. At the end of the season, thank you everyone who's supported me throughout the season and watched every episode. Hopefully, thank you. The channel's grown a lot as well in recent times. And thank you everyone again. There is the season. And season 2, we're going to be doing a pre-season in a couple of days' time. So thank you everyone for watching. And I'll see you then for season 2. And thank you everyone. Like and subscribe as well.